I swear to God, if this baby wasn't born on camera, I would have put my money on it being adopted. Is the latest film directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Steven Knight, and it stars Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard, and these two are spies and they meet up in Casablanca in 1942, and they go on a mission together. In this mission, they kind of fall in love with each other, and they move together to London, where they have a daughter, but then Brad Pitt's superiors accuse Marion Cotillard of being a German spy. Robert Zemeckis is a great, talented story director, and he has put out some great films in the past. But I think his latest movies have kind of been underrated. An instance is, I love The Walk, and I think that movie is highly underrated. I really love what he did with that. Allied is a good movie, but I will tell you this, the trailers lie to you, my friends. This movie can be divided in two sections. Those sections are the romance, that is the first half, where these two get to meet each other and get to fall in love and go on this mission together. And I really like that. You see the chemistry between these two, you understand why they like each other, you understand the characters, you get to know them, and you understand why they make certain decisions, both in the first half and in the second half of the movie. And you see the story arcs going along, and they fit well together. The second half is what the trailers sell to you. The action, the intrigue, the thrill ride that it is about Brad Pitt finding out if his wife, the woman he loves, and the woman that is the mother of his child, she is a German spy or not, if she is a spy for the enemy. The worst part of the trailer's lying is that in the first half you don't get so much engaged with the story because you want to see them getting to the part that is being sold to you in the trailers, and that's what the trailers sell. And because of that, you don't really feel much pressure on these two at the first half of the movie because you know what this is going to lead into and you want to see that part. As far as the second half goes, it is an absolute thrill ride. It is an absolute action spectacular movie. You get to see Brad Pitt going after these people. You get to see him interrogating other people on the German army, former soldier, informants, and so on. And that is when you really attach to the character and the story and the situation that they both are going through. I love how he handled the characters appearing and not appearing on screen. The second half is almost exclusively Brad Pitt's. He shines in every scene of this movie, but the second half is absolutely his. This guy goes on the hunt to prove his wife innocent to his superior officers. He fights for every single second of the movie to prove them wrong, and it's great to see. Brad Pitt is great. He's great in this movie. He's suave, he's a badass, and he's very much in struggle with himself throughout most of the movie, but especially, of course, in the second half, where he has to find out this truth that might ruin his life or not, and his wife, his child, and himself are very much in danger. And of course, it could very well endanger the country and give the victory to the Germans, to the Nazis. I felt for this guy as a soldier, as a spy, as a husband, as a father. I felt for him at every single second, and I was really pulling for him throughout the whole movie. But the second half is when you really, really get to be on this guy's side, because it really focuses on him. Marion Cotillard is also really, really good. I mean, the woman is sexy, the woman brings a lot of nuances to the role. I really love the way she taught Brad Pitt around being a spy on the first half, and she brings a lot of subtleties to the role as well. There are a lot of things she teaches him, and a lot of subtleties she brings to the role, and conversations that they have in which you really get to learn how spies first meeting during a mission get to know each other and converse and not endanger the mission itself. She at some points laughs as they are having a conversation, but that's because they are being spied on, and she has this really fake laugh, but I enjoyed how you could understand and see through that it was a really, really fake laugh. But that's just some of the instances where Marion Cotillard shines in the nuances and subtleties that she gives to the role, and I really enjoyed seeing the dedication that she brought to the character. Some of the problems I have with the first half of the movie as well is that this is very much, at many points, a shot-for-shot love letter to Casablanca. Casablanca is one of the greatest films of all time. It's one of my favorite films of all time. And the problem, again, with the trailers is that not only does this seem not the movie that they were selling you, but also very boring. It can feel very boring. It's very slow. It's a slow build to the payoff that you're going to get in the second half. While these two give great performances and they are portraying two really good characters on screen, and Zemeckis is directing them beautifully, and you see their story arcs advancing, it can feel kind of dull and not be about anything, because again, you don't feel much engaged because you know what's going to happen on the second half, what's it going to be about. Without spoiling, of course, the ending did leave me kind of cold. Not because it's bad or I don't agree with it, it's just because it lingers on too much on the last moments on the film, and you leave the theater not feeling the full impact of the story. There are also some editing choices that I didn't agree with, and not that the movie's badly edited, say like you have some transitions that don't really work, but there are just some cutaway shots that really didn't need to be there. For instance, there's one moment where Brad Pitt takes this plane and he goes to a prison in France to interrogate this guy who knew his wife from the past. And as he's leaving the plane, some guys are inspecting a case that he dropped off before landing the plane, and you see many shots cutting from Brad Pitt to the guys, from the guys to Brad Pitt, and they are just like 7 feet away or something from each other, and that's just boggling. You get the point of both halves of the movie, but the problem is they just don't really mesh well together because you are just expecting the second half to come on. And they have very different types of pacing. Trust me, the pacing on the first half and on the second half of this movie is completely different from each other. It is not Zemeckis' best movie for sure, but I will say it's well directed. There are some editing choices that it is well written, and apart from some pacing issues, both stories really work. We have two great actors, we have two great characters, you see their relationship, you feel for them. There's not one moment where you don't feel for these characters and when their story is not interesting, and because of that I will say Allied is a martini. It is a good time anytime, despite its flaws. What did you think of Allied, my beautiful geekies? Are you a fan of Marion Cotillard? Are you a fan of Brad Pitt? Are you a fan of Robert Zemeckis? Let me know your favorite movies from all these three. And of course, start leaving your questions for the hashtag Rogue One Q&A. The Q&A is coming after I see Rogue One and after I bring you a spoilers-free and a spoilers review. And of course, there will be a giveaway and you can ask me how many questions you want about anything you want. This Saturday I will have my theory video for Westworld. I promised you guys that, and I will deliver for sure. And if you like this review, give a like to this video and share, because that's a big way for you guys to help me out. And if you are not a beautiful geeky yet, click the button subscribe and join us in a beautiful geeky community where we can be geeky united. Thank you so much for watching, my beautiful geekies. You guys are the best. We are only a week away from meeting each other at Comic-Con Portugal. Check the Facebook page because there's a meeting on there, an event. And until then, stay beautiful, stay geeky, shit!